Morning. Something interesting today is Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Um, she's been like, it's a big deal that she said that she was only going to take reports from minority reporters and people of color. I just want to play what she was saying, then I'll get into more of why I'm bringing this up. Let me see if I can.
Covered you on the beat since the beginning of your campaign. Are you implying that white reporters cannot do a fair job of covering you?
It has nothing to do about you, Craig, with due respect, or anybody else. What it has to do about is the facts. And the facts is that when I look out at across this podium, as I'm doing now, I don't see much in the way of diversity. The fact that the City Hall press corps is overwhelmingly white, has very little in the way of diversity, is an embarrassment. We are a city that is almost 3/4 people of color. I believe that the City Hall press corps needs to reflect the diversity of our city. And I saw some of the commentary, which frankly was insulting, to suggest that journalists of color won't ask the tough questions. Really? To suggest that somehow I'm saying certain journalists are racist? Really? No, the facts are the facts.
Now, this is what we always get caught up in.
This press corps does not reflect the diversity of the city, and it makes
What she's saying is definitely true. I'm sure.
Everybody, me,
but that's not the point. But check out what the reporter about to ask her.
To the way that we perceive events. All of us bring an implicit bias. And what I'm saying is, it's way past time. It's way past time for the City Hall press corps and the people that do the hiring and make the decisions to get the memo. We are in a time where we're having a powerful and important conversation around systemic racism in every institution. And the press and the media.
See, the Democrats love that word, but check out this. What the reporter gonna say.
I say that I'm going to mark the anniversary of my 2 years in office by giving exclusive one-on-ones to journalists of color, and the world loses its mind. How about we focus on doing what is necessary to step up, make different and better hiring decisions to diversify the ranks of the Chicago press corps?
Mayor, you mentioned today that one of your goals was to make the city the safest big city. However, shootings and murders are up, carjackings are up, violent crime is up. How is the city and how is this particular neighborhood better off today than it was 2 years ago?
Well, let me give a little context.
Now, that's my thing about our leaders or whatever like that. We always, I think we get past this stuff. It always seems that we deem like somebody taking a stance, like, because, okay, that's how you want to mark your 2-year anniversary of being a mayor, by giving news reports to all people of color. Like, that's nothing. Like, and I think that black people starting to realize that it's just that's not doesn't do anything anymore. Like some years ago, that they used to do stuff when people would stand up and say, "Okay, well, I'm gonna only do reporters from people of color," but that's not doing anything for the community. And as you can see, the next question that was asked is, "What's going on with these homicides? What's going on with these carjackings and all these other things?" Now, those are what's the important issues that should be being addressed as a black leader in the community. Like, that's the type of thing that should be being addressed. I mean, okay, so for your to me, your 2-year mark, it should be something greater than you taking that day just to only allow what you call minority reporters giving them reports. I mean, who really cares? I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's cute, but what is it really doing for like the community? That's not really doing nothing for the community. When the reporter got into the question about the homicides, the carjackings, and all those are the type of things that I would want to hear her discussing, or on her 2-year anniversary. I mean, giving out reports to only minority reporters. I mean, that's nothing. And then always the Democrats always want to bring up the, the timid racism and whatnot. But what is she doing in her city to combat that? Giving reports, allowing minority reporters to get an interview with you is doing nothing for the community. Is doing nothing for um, the city, and I mean it's basically worthless. Most time I think it's just applied because some blacks will look at that and say, "Oh, well, she's really standing up to the community. She's standing up against white supremacy. She's standing up. You know, she's standing up. She's really showing them, but she's really not doing nothing. That's not doing nothing." Okay, you take one day and you answer questions to only reporters of minorities, and then the day after that, it's a brand new day, it's another week, it's another month. What has that done? Absolutely nothing. And so some people want to applaud that, like she, like that was really doing something, but it's not. And I mean, I do respect it, and you know that I guess that is something good that she's doing that, but why don't she try to do something like work inside the system or something like that? If you think the press is with the hiring practices and that's an issue, then let's work there. Let's try to do something there. Um, like just saying I'm only going to give my minority reporters the opportunity to speak with me one day. I mean, it's nothing. Now, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, the black community would applaud, like, "Oh, Bravo, yeah, she's standing up, she's standing up." But I don't think we there anymore. Like, we're expecting our leaders or people, black people in positions of authority and power, to do just a little bit more than that. Just a little bit more. I mean, like I said, I just think of it more than anything that's just a plight to. It's just a this the way Democrats do things, pretty much to make the blacks feel like or think that they're in their corner or that they're fighting against the injustice or whatever like that. Basically, like a little smoke mirage, pretty much, to make you think that something's going on or that something's working and that something's being done when the actuality is really not. Because at the end of the day, you only allow what you call minority reporters, only allow minority reports reports. I mean, okay, what has that done? Hasn't really done anything. So um, that was just my opinion on that when I seen that because I just know from me being a little bit older, like I can honestly remember when if a black mayor or something would have got on TV and said something like that, we would just applaud and probably thought it was just so courageous and they're advocate for the black community and but that's not enough anymore. That's not enough anymore. Like I keep saying, we need leaders and people in position of authority that's about black business, education, making sure that our youths are getting the same education as everybody else, if not better. Definitely preparing them for some type of trade. That's why, like King Randall, if no one's ever heard of King Randall in Albany, Georgia, he has the X School for Boys. It's but those are the more type of things that we need. We need leaders and people that's trying to make sure that for those in the community that want college, that want education, make sure that we're preparing them for that. And if they don't want to do that, making sure that they have a trade or a technical skill or something that they can do to to be beneficial to the community. Technical jobs you can open your own business if you know how to plumb, if you know how to fix cars, whatever. Those are things that you can do to start your own business. But yeah, we need our leaders to be focused more on um, making sure that blacks know how to not just be consumers in the United States, but how to be entrepreneurs. We need leaders that are going to make sure that our youth are receiving adequate education or above level education. Um, we need leaders that's going to be able to lead and stop all of this black on black crime. We have too many so-called, which they're really not black leaders, because if they were black leaders, these are the type of issues that they would be tackling. Like, okay, yes, there's definitely white supremacy. Yes, there's definitely issue with all white supremacy, but that's just one issue. That's the Democrats' issue. That's not, that is a black issue, but that's not our only issue. But that's the only issue that the Democrats, a lot of times when we see our black leaders, and it's so true. It's so very true. It's not a lie when they say, you know, Democrat first, black second. So what we see a lot of times with this white supremacy thing, that's the angle that the Democratic Party is going with. And yes, there's definitely an issue with that. But if we had true black leaders, that wouldn't be the only focus area. That's the Democratic Party focus area, you know, which it definitely is an issue. But like I said, our lead when we start seeing our true leaders, they're going to be doing things that are going to help take us to the next level. We really already getting there. um I think it's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't really know and realize, but there's definitely like a like a switch. It's just the mindset and the attitudes and stuff like that, of blacks are just changing, and we just recognizing different things. Like I'm recognizing that, you know, she getting on there saying that, you know, is not really doing anything. We need her to take initiatives to stop all that killing, blacks just dropping dead, dying all over Chicago. Like, come on now. I mean, there's just too many greater issues, education, like all of that. And what you choose to put your hooks in is the fact that reporters, there's not enough diversity, as you say, in the press. So, which that is an issue, but for the position that Lori Lightfoot has as a mayor, I would just expect more from her, and that not be the issue that she would um, attack. But like I said, it just all links back to that's what our blacks do. The blacks that are in positions of authority, they just pretty much follow the model of what the Democratic Party tells them to do. It's not really, they're not really here to do anything for um, the black community, and we can see that. I mean, that's one thing you cannot argue with the Republicans about, and it just seems so crazy. But most of the cities or whatever, even though there's always, you know, a European somewhere overseeing things, but when we do look at these black cities that are ran by black people, a lot of them are poverty, high crime, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, if you look at the numbers, you can't deny that. That's why I say you have to be black first, and you can't be Republican or Democratic, because a lot of times on both sides, there is some knowledge and there's some truth on both sides about, you know, you can't just go this way, this way. Most of the time when you listen to both, somewhere in the middle, you know, and I listen to them when they say that. And so why is that? Just because these blacks, when we put them in there, we putting them in there because they claim they're all about the community, and You're going to do this and do that for the community, but nothing changes. Still murder, black on black crime, poverty, unemployment, in all these cities that's ran by us. And that's just sad because they can always point the finger and say, well, look, we letting y'all run this city over here and look at it. And the black leaders, the so called black leaders, should be ashamed of that. That should be your opportunity, I think, to try to shine or whatever. So, and I know that there's forces in, but still. So that was just my little morning thoughts starting off today. And if anybody watched this, I hope you have a good day and subscribe, like the video. Thank you very much.